there. So I'm gonna try something new, and essentially it's gonna be talking about kind of what I went through for my brain tumor, which is coming up on 5 years ago. Benign, by the way, so that means non-cancerous. But I felt like I wanted to share some of the things that I went through emotionally to maybe help someone who is going through a similar thing. Throughout the years since this has happened, I've talked to quite a few people that have survived something, whether it was cancer or tumor or just a multitude of things, some type of medical procedure or an unknown that they didn't expect. And I found that we had some parallels. So while maybe we didn't think about the same exact things, there were things that we definitely experienced as survivors, if you will, that some people that haven't gone through that trauma may not understand. So if you love someone who's currently going through something traumatic, or if you yourself are, maybe this is something that can help. So, but I'm going to do it while I'm screen printing. So hopefully it doesn't get too off topic, or I don't mess up shirts, because me multitasking is going to be pretty interesting. But so anyway, we're going to be printing some Shine Your Light shirts today. So this is my screen for that. Very thankful to my friend Victor. He actually made this screen for me. Now I can make my own like this, but he was definitely, oops, wrong way. See, I already could have messed something up. This will be interesting, so hopefully I don't cause myself too many errors. So, and these, by the way, again, sidebar, these Shine Your Light t-shirts are available if you go to my website, kindnesstreemovement.com. This is through a childhood friend of mine, John Ware, who is trying to put some light in Baltimore. He's actually had a mural created, and I think number 2 is in the works. John, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but so, and part of the proceeds go to an outreach center for the sale of this shirt. Okay, so we've got that. I need some white ink. So my white ink is running out, so I'm going to make this my work table. This is just going to be something to keep my area from getting all messed up here. Okay, so personally, I find that the water-based white that I use is very thick, which is fantastic. But I cut it a little bit with distilled water, so. And because I'm a very small business, I don't go through a lot of this as quickly as actual screen printers do. So I buy small amounts, and it lasts me a pretty good amount of time. All right, so back to my tumor. I had a hemangioblastoma, and there's all different types of tumors. Like when you get down the rabbit hole of looking into tumors, it can be actually pretty stressful, especially because then as human beings we start to wonder, is that what my headache is from? Yesterday I actually had my 5-year MRI, so that's kind of why I'm doing this today. The 5-year MRI came back fine, which was a huge relief. And I've also had some friends reach out just recently. I will not mention any names, but a friend was just diagnosed with a brain tumor, and she wanted some advice. So I gotta be honest, I really don't have any advice. Each thing is unique. Each journey is unique. I mean, I guess that's the advice, is to just to continue to be there for your friend. It's one of those situations that you don't really know what to say, what to do. As the person that had the tumor, that's constantly what I thought about. And I know that everyone's different, and that's not necessarily the perspective. But for me, I'm an empath, so I think of other people all the time, and that's part of what causes me grief. But constantly just worried about what my family was going through. And I think, again, I can only speak for myself from that perspective, but if you are a friend or a loved one of the person that received the diagnosis, you have to understand that they are probably more concerned about you most of the time than they are worried about themselves. And maybe it's a psychological thing, that it's our way of coping. It gives us something else to focus on. Let's worry about what they're worried about and not what I'm actually going through. But you know, when somebody, you know, I'm definitely not the person that knows what to say when someone is given that kind of diagnosis. But what I can say to you is that just be there for them. Continue to, you know, even if they're not willing to talk. Sorry, I have to stir this up a lot before we're ready to print. But even if they're not ready to talk, just be there. And don't always make it about their tumor. Don't always make it about their chemo or their cancer. Or they do want to still enjoy life, and they do still want some normalcy, even if they don't know that at the moment. It took me some time to kind of realize that, you know, you don't want everything to revolve around that, but it becomes a part of you, quite frankly. So you can't really forget about it, and you can't really ignore the diagnosis. So it's just a part of who you are going forward. And for some people, the diagnosis is grim, and for others it's not so bad, but at that moment it's, you know, it's a horrible thing. So if you are trying to reach out to someone who is going through something, and most people understand this, just continue to be there. Just text them, message them, how you doing, how you feeling, you know, how about this weather? I mean, yeah, you could say stupid stuff. It gets their mind off of probably what's going on. If you know their favorite foods, ship them. If you know anything that gets their mind off of, I had a lot of people send me coloring books during my recovery. I don't think I used any of them. The thought was fantastic. And I did look through them, and they made me laugh. I think I did use a page or so, but my brain just wasn't ready to just sit down and color or escape what was happening. I was just all consumed, kind of what my future was going to look like, and what's next, what's going to happen, you know, all the unknowns. For me personally, not knowing is not something that I cope very well with. So, okay, I think our ink is ready. So, and hopefully I didn't just make it too thin. probably could add. So it's kind of like the consistency of, you know, melted marshmallow, or like marshmallow that you get in a container at the store. Doesn't taste like it. Doesn't have any odor though, which is nice. Of course, having a brain tumor, I'm always like, okay, is this going to cause a tumor? Am I smelling this? Is this going to cause a problem in life? So that's the other thing, the other reality that your friend or loved ones are probably going to go through is, why me? What did I do? What caused this? Is there something I can blame? Is there something environmental I was exposed to, or, you know, just the questions can just absolutely drive you crazy. So again, continue to be there for them. What I will say as, again, someone who has gone through it, so this is a youth tea. You have at least I can only speak for myself, so I don't know if you're going to experience this or not, but I had an incredible challenge with dealing with guilt. And when I say guilt, I mean guilt because there were times when I felt sorry for myself. You cry, you are angry, but at the same time, you know that that's not productive, and you know that that's not going to get you better, and that there really isn't benefit, other than the benefit that I found was to feel. And for a lot of us, feeling sorry for ourselves doesn't come naturally, and you have guilt over, I shouldn't feel bad because other people are going through much worse, or, you know, whatever. You'll find a reason to not feel bad about yourself. But it's normal, and it's human, and it's necessary to heal. So what I have told people over the years that I have had these candid conversations with is that you have got to allow yourself time to essentially grieve, and time to be angry, and time, and it may mean that you have to set yourself apart from your family, or you know, for just minutes, because of course we don't like to bring that on. We don't want anybody else to worry about us. We have to, you know, if you're married or you have kids, you're like, I don't want anybody to think that I'm not feeling great. I don't want anybody to think that I can't handle this. I'm strong. I can get through it. And the reality is, you're going to have a lot of moments of you're like, Jesus, I don't know if I'm up for this. Like, I don't know if I'm strong enough. I don't know if this is going to be okay. And at the end of the day, we really don't. You really don't know, you know, whether you're religious or not, and you pray. At the end of the day, you really don't know what the outcome is going to be. So giving yourself that grace to be upset is really critical, because you've got to feel that in order to move past it. And I found that feeling really was one of the best things. And now I think I'm like pre-menopausal. So talk about feeling. I'm feeling like every second of the day, probably more than, oh, see, I'm like losing track of what I'm doing. I'm ready to put my ink on here. All right. But those, feeling that is essential to moving past it, and to getting back to that strong person that you want to be for your family and friends, because you do want to put on a smile, and I know not everybody's like this. I'm just, you know, speaking to those that can relate. If you can't and you're still not out of the darkness, so to speak, that's understandable. And I'm definitely not saying that you have to think like I did, but the important part is that you try to remain as positive as you possibly can, because nothing, here's the options. And I said, I've had this conversation with my mom because she said to me, I don't know that I could have been as brave as you were, and I don't know that I could have had the attitude that you had. And I said to her, what's the alternative? So you can either choose to be like, okay, these are the cards I've been dealt. Let's suck it up, buttercup, and get through it and see what tomorrow brings. Or you can, get in the fetal position and stay that way forever. That really wasn't an option for me. Although I had moments of that, I realized that I had to move past it, and you move past it until they come again, because they're going to be there on and off until you get, past everything. So there's our youth. Let me go ahead and hang this up real quick. Bear with me 1 second. I've only got a couple more of these to do, so this will be the winding up of the video, our first. And feel free to, if you can relate, leave a comment. If I have posted this on Facebook, I think I'm going to post them on YouTube, just to hopefully get a little bit more exposure, if you will, to reach more people. Feel free to hit the like button if you are watching this on YouTube, because that obviously will help it get and reach more people. But that's basically what I wanted to talk about today for this first video, is just kind of getting through and focusing on your feelings and giving yourself, as I stated, the grace to be sad, and the grace to feel sorry for yourself. It's necessary to heal, and it's necessary to move forward, and there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing. And it doesn't mean that you still don't recognize or have gratitude for your situation. It's just part of being human. It's part of being a complex human being that has a lot of levels of emotion, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, whether you're male or female. I think men have it a little bit more difficult. I think there is a double standard, because they may not feel. Hold on, I gotta move something here. It's getting in my way. Sorry you can't see it, but I've just got a clothes hanger over here that I've got everything hanging on. And I'm just gonna put this right here. You know what? I'll put it right here. There we go. So, yeah, I think that men often, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, feel free, if you felt like it was easy to feel with a traumatic diagnosis, or if it wasn't. I mean, I know that men ultimately, at the end of the day, express less feelings in general. Again, I'm just making a general statement. I realize that not everybody. But I certainly hope that it's okay for you to have those moments of weakness. I'm going to call them weakness just because it's how it's perceived, and we're not being at our strongest. So at the end of the day, it's really just what it is. All right, so available in black, purple, and white. Shine Your Light Baltimore. Portion of the proceeds goes to, it is the Chesapeake Outreach Center. I'm pretty sure I got that name right. But these are available. The link to order these is available on my website, on my homepage, kindnesstreemovement.com. Hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to be doing more, and if you have any ideas for different topics or anything that you would like me to share regarding my journey, feel free to send me a message or post it, and I'll do my best. Stay well. Try to inhale all the goodness that you've got, that you around you, and once we do that, it does allow us to be a little kinder, so we can then exhale the kindness. Have a good one. Thanks.